guests and Adam. Wasn't that a fantastic speech? I really loved it. I loved the beginning and I loved the ending. The beginning, do you belong to the Guatemalan Tourist Board? Obviously, Over Keen reports back to his friends. And then the ending, which was something about the Tourist Board, the unofficial Guatemalan Tourist Board. So he brought it round in a circle. Fabulous. I think Adam achieved his objectives very well indeed. The general purpose was to tell us about this fabulous country that he loved when he visited on 2 occasions, and the specific purpose was to tell us to go there. Get on a plane, go. Google it, get married, do anything, but go to Guatemala. So well done, you met your objectives very well. There, Adam. It was a whistle-stop tour of Guatemala. There were tons of facts. We had history and geography, and we had some sociology in there too. Wars, the Mayans. Incredible. Lots of research that Adam had put into that. And this is where my first recommendation comes. So many facts, and I would have liked pauses in between the facts so that I could take on board what he told me. I know I missed the next fact after the one about this great city that had been built in the hundreds. Not in the something century, the hundreds. So we're talking about really ancient city. A nice pause there, where we could have all thought about that. Wow, this is a really old place. But I loved his gestures. They were open gestures. He used his hand to count off the fantastic things that he saw there. There were lots of trees and jungles and places and beaches and cities and whatever. So great gestures, well done there. I thought that Adam did a great job in telling us about the country. It wasn't just about facts. He threw a story in there about loving it so much the first time he'd gone that he went back to get married. Personal stories really make a speech come alive, and that was a particularly good thing to do there, Adam. So in summary, I thought this was a fantastic travelogue through this country. He really sold it to us. He met his objectives in spades. There were no nerves visible, no notes. He clearly is a fan of the country. And my question, like the question at the beginning, is to ask him, why isn't he the official Guatemalan tourist?
Now, I'll just pause, I think, for 10 minutes to give everyone a chance to do an evaluation.
10 minutes.
Did I say 10 minutes? We'd like to get a drink of water. 10 seconds. Evaluator, the June co-op evaluating Jeffrey Hume. So please welcome June up to the stage.
Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and very welcome guests. And of course, where is he? Jeff. First of all, I have to say, aren't we lucky to have Jeff here? So we're really pleased you're here. He has a wonderful presence up here. He's tall, stood up straight, and he just delivered his voice. Used the lectern as a bit of a crutch, but he had a lot of notes. Now, to me, this is a personal story. And a personal story, you shouldn't really need to keep looking at this. But let's go on. His voice is just something I could listen to for hours. He used some voice modulation, he actually used some gestures and really gave it some oomph. And then he went like this. And I think we all tend to do this because we get nervous. But the story was really, really good. I liked the way he delivered it. But I do have some recommendations, and I'm bringing them in early, Jeff, because you did meet your objectives. You have got lots of skills that you can push forward on, but there's a few that you need to work on, and I would suggest you work with your mentor. Using your notes, your eyes tended to go down the centre. I felt very left out over there, as I'm probably these people here. So eye contact is round the room. Catch on someone for a few seconds, then move on, and then look at someone else. And it's difficult when you've got lots and lots of notes. So I would suggest you try to whittle the notes down to some cards and you have bullet points, and that way you don't have to rely on pages and pages of script. That comes with time, that's no problem. What did I really like about it? I liked his gestures, which I think you could do lots more with if you didn't have this, because you used your arms really well and then you could use your face more. Did we learn about you? Well, we learned about your health problem, but I don't know anything about your family, or your work, or why you're here. So I personally didn't find out much more about you than what you told us tonight. As I said, I'm still glad you're here. It could have been a little bit more about what you are, rather than what's happened to you recently. And with your ending, and I've said this so often, with your ending, lift up your voice, because that could have been really strong. We all made it. Really hammer that home. We all made it. And that's something for all of us to work on. This ending. Don't be frightened to use your voice at the end of your speech. Lift it and throw it out. You met your objectives, Jeff. I've got loads of notes to talk to you about afterwards, and I look forward to number 2, which I know will be even better.
So just 10 seconds, just to make any quick notes you need. Okay, so the last evaluation now. So if I could call up Daniel Arthur, who's evaluating Alan Greenwood.
Well, thanks very much, Jeff. Welcome. Thank you for Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. And congratulations to Alan for being very flexible and coming up and delivering a speech with virtually no notes at all. Just a few seconds. Quite amazing, really. Quite impressive to be able to do that and to be willing to do that. So that's really what I call game on the night. Excellent. So that's my first commendation. This topic was, or this challenge was entitled Research Your Topic, and I think the title of the talk was Early English Pubs. Is that right? Yes. And what we had tonight was a lot of facts and illustrations and examples, and I found it very interesting because I like pubs as well. In fact, I'm thinking of buying one at the moment. Yeah, and I was very fascinated by that. But we had lots of facts about Roman roads, tavernas. I like the reference to the 4 Ps: pubs, police, parish church and post office. That's very relevant actually. And we had a very good sweep of history from the Romans. Yes, there's a big focus on that, but also the Saxons and the Jutes and the Normans, I think there's a brief reference to. Sorry?
The Vikings.
The Vikings, precisely, yes, I shouldn't have forgotten that, because I recently paid a visit to the monument to King Alfred the Great. Anyway, different subject. And we also had a reference to, and here's an illustration that Alan used, was about being taken down a peg or two. I didn't know the origin of that story, and that was quite interesting. So the second thing I'd like to commend Alan for is the way he put together his facts, and he spoke from personal interest. And because he was talking about something he knows a lot about, he could speak off the cuff and quite easily. And so personal interest and enthusiasm for the subject counts for a lot. And Alan's got this natural, easygoing style. He comes across a bit like an after-dinner speaker, and it just flows easily. And I can almost imagine myself having a nice meal and sitting back and listening with my pint in my hand, and all the facts flow out. It's all very interesting. But there I come to a couple of recommendations for Alan, and that is that always to remember the key points of structure, because it's easy to present a lot of facts and to create a long list and to run through them, but to omit a structure to the whole speech. And so there needs to be a bit more of a beginning, middle and an end, and the end was a little bit of a rushed lack of a conclusion. And the second thing is that Alan's very easy in his voice style, but he probably needs to modulate. Could vary the pitch a bit and the volume, and create a few pauses. And how about this? Have you thought of that? Well, don't forget this. It's possible to add in a bit of variety there. So well done, Alan. In summary, very interesting topic, spoke from personal passion, very flexible on the night. Just remember structure and also voice modulation as suggestions. But well done. Look forward to the C9. Is it? I've lost count. Well done.
Thanks, Daniel, for